Hi everybody and welcome to another After Effects tutorial. My name is Eitan and today I will be showing you how to make some 2-minute titles, as I'm calling them. Just titles that you can throw together really fast. So here's the first one we'll be making. Now these are just for beginner After Effects users that don't really necessarily know After Effects as well, but that's fine because we'll be doing everything step by step. So you shouldn't have a problem. So this is just if you have a project you're working on, it needs a cool title, but you really don't have much time to work on it and design a really cool title sequence, or you just don't know how and want to just design something really easily, this is the tutorial for you. So click on this text tool up here and click in this black area, this is your comp, and type the text you want. So I'm going to type ULearn FX. You can type whatever you want. Now just move this into position. You can scale it up, scale it, use all these different scale controls to move it to the side. Now if you drag this panel open, you can move all these around. Right now you can go to window and change it. I have all panels open right now. So this is just, it has all the different panels that could possibly be open. So in character, this is where you can change the font. And so if you're looking for more fonts, I really recommend dafont.com. They have lots of cool ones. I haven't installed that many fonts on here yet, but a cool feature that this has is you can just scroll through different fonts, and if something jumps out at you, you can just pick that. So I'm just going to scroll to some random font. But none of these look good. And that one looks kind of cool. Okay. So I'll be using Miriam Fixed or Fixed. I don't know how they want you to pronounce that. Probably just Fixed. Okay. Alright. So now if you drag this back to the side, I have my comp set at 30 seconds total, but for this title we're going to want it a lot less. So this thing controls how big your controls in the timeline are. So I'm just going to want the whole thing to be about 5 seconds, and you can drag that down so you have a bigger space to work in. So now that you have that, twirl down all these controls. Click Animate and Blur. Now a cool thing you can do is either animate the blur to go up, like I showed you in the example, and then to go back down. And how you would do that, this is the first way you do it. You click on this little stopwatch, this sets a keyframe, and what that does is that's telling the program After Effects that if at this point in time it's going to be this blurry, and then say you move forward, and at this time it's going to be 0, that blurry, then it'll fill in everything in the middle. So you have that, then you want to set another keyframe at the end of your text, say around 4 seconds, and then at the end of the comp, or near the end of the comp, you want to bring it back up. And then you'll have something that looks like this. So I stopped to explain a few things, but if I didn't, that would probably take less than a minute to make. So that's one way to do it. Now I'm going to get rid of all these keyframes just by clicking the stopwatch again. And I'm going to leave it very blurry. Probably like that. So now if you twirl down the properties for the range selector, however, you can now control which areas are blurry. So now if you set a keyframe for this at the beginning, then at 2 seconds it's going to be 100. Set another keyframe at 4 seconds. And then around there, set a keyframe for 0. That will look like this. So that is 2-minute title number 2. Alright, 2-minute title number 3. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, set the blur back to 0. We're not going to be using these controls anymore, so you can just twirl that back up. Now right click on the text, create shapes from text. Now what you did there is, there's a thing called a shape layer, if you don't know about them already. It's basically very similar. It's just a layer with shapes sort of carved out of it. So you just carved your text out of a layer, sort of like a mask. So you can delete your text, your original text, because it's preserved in this shape layer. So the reason why you'd be doing this is now you can get the controls of the shape layer, but with text. So twirl this down and press add, and then you can really play around with all of these different things. So say twist. Now what this is going to do is just twist everything. So I'm going to twirl down the twist properties and maybe so I'm going to turn up the angle a lot. Say that much. So 911, I got it too, but you can change that. 900 to make it a solid number. Okay. Now set a keyframe at the beginning. Keyframe at 2 seconds for 0. Press that to leave another keyframe. And then jump to the end of the comp. Back to 900. And it will look like this. Okay, pretty cool. That was another quick title that would probably not take more than a minute or two to make. So that gives it, sort of looks a little like water maybe, twirling. So that's another 2-minute title you can make really fast. I'm just going to delete this whole twist property now because we don't need it anymore. Add, I'm going to try zigzag. So this will probably be the last one we make, because I think you get the idea by now. But say you drag the size all the way up to like that, set a keyframe at the beginning, 2 seconds 0, 4 seconds, set another keyframe, and at the end, set a keyframe for, I think it was 145, and now that'll look like this. Okay, the reason it's not playing back well right now, and because it's taking so long, is because this takes a lot of processing power to do this, so unless you have a really fast computer, it probably won't be able to play back in full quality, or at least well. So I'm going to switch this all the way down to a quarter of normal quality, and it'll play back at least a little faster. And so I think you can sort of see how this is working. And then it goes back up. So we have this. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them below, or any questions, and I'll try to answer them. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.